Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name's Leonie, aka Stitching Noni, and this is my FlossTube video, my YouTube video all about my cross stitch journey. Welcome back. It's been a while, and welcome to my new subscribers. I have had actually a few new subscribers recently, which is awesome considering I haven't put a video out for a couple of months. So thank you. It's nice to have you here, and I hope you enjoy what you see and you'll come back again. And thank you to all my returning subscribers. It's lovely to see you again. Sorry I've been away for so long. Don't know why. I'm going to blame life and I'm going to blame winter. Winter is not my friend. I do not like winter. Today it's very grey, but I still feel that September's great. It's sort of spring. You can feel there's a difference in the air. The birds are singing in the morning. It's lighter in the morning. It's lighter at night. Yeah. So all of a sudden I start coming out of my hibernation. I do hibernate in winter, and we've hibernated even more so this year with COVID. But yeah, I do feel like I'm emerging now that the weather's getting slightly better. So yeah, a few more weeks before we get some really nice warm weather. But yeah, you can sort of feel the change in the air. So I'm back. So yeah, I haven't recorded since May. So my actual last video was my Stitch Mania videos. So I did weekly videos when I was doing the Stitch Mania starts, and my last true update was the beginning of May, which was more sort of April. As evidenced from the pile behind me of project bags and whatever you want to call them, files and stuff, I have a bit to show you. I've got it all piled up here. I have some notes in front of me, which I may or may not follow, but they're there. I've sort of changed my angle a bit in my craft room. So I'm still in my craft room. I've just gone to the other side of my desk. So it makes it easier to chuck stuff on the table and just gives you a different view. So that's my cupboard. And in my cupboard I have lots of bits and pieces, a few gifts that I've received over the years from different stitching friends. My Margaret Sherry, that's only one of those cats, the season's cats, that I've finished into a pillow of some sort. So yeah, so this is a different side. So we'll see how we go with this, because if this works with lighting, it might be the view that I take for my next video. And hopefully it won't be 3 months before my next video. So yeah. Okay, so what has been happening? Nothing much. So here in WA, we are still at what is termed stage 4, coming into stage 5, hopefully at the end of October. That's been extended out a couple of times now because of what's happening in Queensland, or not so much Queensland, but certainly Victoria, New South Wales, Victoria especially, with the COVID numbers. We have a hard border, so no one's allowed in. Sorry, you're not coming in. Which has been good in one sense, but I know it's sort of getting a little bit hard for people who are trying to get into WA, but I'm not going to go into that. That's political, and I'm not talking about politics. I'm still working from home. Because we haven't gone to stage 5, we still have social distancing, and the 2 metre square rule applies essentially. My office, we are fully open plan. There's a few offices, but basically we're fully open plan, which means we are all sitting quite close together. So to have people in the office and abide by the 2 metre square rule, we can only have half the seats available. The 2 floors that we, as the division that I work for, have in the building, have been given over to a project, because the people, essentially the engineers and stuff, need to be in the office. They need to have the hardwired network access. They need to have their big desktops to do all their CAD drawings and stuff. So those of us who can work from home and are classed as what they term priority 3 as far as coming into the office, have been told you're not coming in. If you want to come in, you can sort of find a seat somewhere, but you have to book it, and you may not have it because somebody else might need it, whatever. So I essentially just haven't gone in. I may start going in the next couple of weeks just for one day, because they've allocated some desks in one of the buildings that we've got for people who want to just come in ad hoc. So I might just go in. There's a couple of the girls who started doing that just to say hi to people because they're feeling a bit lonely. I like being on my own. It's okay. that's probably just a weird thing that I am, that I don't feel isolated by working from home. I actually enjoy it. I find I'm getting more done. I'm more productive. And especially now I'm doing the dot control work in the afternoon. That's become quite a big thing now for me. And I'm actually helping out on one of the projects. One of the girls needs some help. So I'm spending my afternoons doing that. And I find for me, it's easier for me to do it without the distraction of an office environment around me. I'm also on tenterhooks at the moment, as I had an interview yesterday to go into that space more permanently. The role is actually senior project controller, which obviously I'm not, but they still interviewed me with the hope that they can maybe rejig the team a bit, bring me in as just a dot controller, and maybe make somebody else the senior dot controller, or they just rejig it and just use that position for me. Fingers crossed. So we'll see. Hopefully that will work. What else? That's pretty much it. So we haven't really done a lot. Been doing a little bit of renovation in the backyard. And when that's finished, I'll show you. Excuse the dog. I have a dog and I have a cat. The other cat's asleep on the bed. So hopefully we'll get through most of this without too many disturbances. Okay, so what am I up to? What can I tell you? That's about it. There really isn't a lot that I can tell you. We don't do much. No, not in winter. Don't do much, just hibernate. Okay, so why is my computer doing funny things? Not sure. Okay, should be fine. I have my notes on my computer, so I will sort of flick backwards and forwards. But let's get on with what I'm here to talk to you about. So I will, and I've got to try not to do so's, I know. Sorry. Okay. Let's go back to May. So I'm not going to talk about my Stitch Mania whips unless I've worked on them since May. There's only been a couple of those. But what I will talk about is the couple of whips that you didn't see that I also worked on in May. So I did have a number of finishes in May, and you saw 3 of them in my April roundup because I'd finished them sort of early May. So I'm not going to show you those again. But I also in May had one more finish, 2 more finishes, one more finish in May for Goat Load, which I was quite pleased about. So Goat Load, obviously Plum Street samplers, and I know there's a lot of people doing these. This is the only one I plan to do at the moment. I do like some of the other trios, but I haven't got any of them yet, and we will decide at some point if we're going to do them. But Goat Load, I originally started, I think it was Emily C's birthday back in March last year. So I started this in March 2019 and I finished it on the 31st of May 2020. All done. Stitched on 36 count Oaken from Picture This Plus, and I did use all the charted threads. In May, I managed to get in 690 stitches for that finish. So I was quite pleased with that. And I think that was probably any time I worked on it like this year. So that's pretty good. So that's the finish. I then moved on in May and pulled out another really old one. So this was a whip that I had started back on the 14th of January 2015. Yeah, and I finished this on the 1st of June actually, but I did work on it in May. So I did 338 stitches in May on it and 323 on the 1st of June to finish it. And this is Happy, just get rid of that notification. Happy Halloween from Brooks Books. All done. And I will put in obviously before pictures, and basically all I had to do was just finish off on all of this black bit and then do all of the back stitch, and it was done. So, you know, it was one of those ones that was sitting there, should have been finished a lot earlier than this, so I did it. This was stitched on 28 count Murano Sugarcane Crunch from Stitches and Spice Fabrics, which unfortunately no longer make fabric, which is a real shame because her fabric was gorgeous. And that was a free chart, so that you can get that off the Brooks Books website from her freebie page. So that pretty much rounded out May. That rounded out May. I then moved into, obviously, June. So I finished that one. That was the 1st of June. Got rid of that one. And we started Sane Stitches Bingo. So I picked my bingo numbers. And I did 2 boards. I did a Sane board, which you just had to do, is it 100 stitches or 50 stitches? I think it must have been 50 stitches, and then the Insane board where you had to do 200 stitches or 300. Yeah, crazy. Can't remember the, I should have checked that. But back in a sec. Sorry about that. Boss ring. So you can't ignore the boss, can you? Okay, so what were we back to? Right, so, oh, you know what I should have done? While I was away, I should have checked my numbers for semi-sane bingo, doesn't matter. So, as I mentioned, semi-sane bingo. So I picked my numbers. I picked, the way I did it this year was, and it's pretty similar to what I did last year, I picked the whips I thought I might want to work on during the month. And I always find it really hard when I pick certain whips to work on. It's like with the Daily 30 Scavenger Hunt. I thought, well, I want to work on these particular whips this year, and I've hardly touched them because it's like, I don't really want to work on them now that I've picked them. But yeah, doesn't matter. So I did pick some whips out, and I sort of then went through, and I thought what I'd try and do is pick the common DMC numbers that were in the whip. So if there was sort of like Father Frost had particular numbers, and then I looked and thought, well, they can also be applied to this one, and they can be applied to this one. So it doesn't matter what whip I want to work on if that number gets called. Now, not all my numbers ended up being called, which was probably good because I got behind, but some did, and I got some working things. But now I've just lost my train of thought. It's gone. Done a bit. Okay, so the whips that I picked to work on for the month were, I wanted to work on Hocus Pocus by Lizzie Kate because I wanted to finish it. So that became sort of like my daily 30, and I just worked on that for half an hour or so a day, on and off. I wanted to work on Cinderella because I hadn't really done much previous to that this year. I wanted to work on Father Frost, and I wanted to work on Lavender and Lace, and I picked something else and I can't remember what the other one was because I don't think I worked on it in the end. No, I didn't work on it in the end, but I did pull out Orchid Pixie because I thought it'd be nice to get some work on some old whips that we haven't worked on for a while. But of course that plan went all over the place. I did work on Hocus Pocus and I did get a finish. So Hocus Pocus is a Lizzie Kate chart, and surprisingly enough, I had a piece of fabric that was pretty close. Was it the actual fabric? No. Her fabric was Weeks Dye Works Guacamole. But I had Hermit from Picture This Plus, which was pretty damn close to what was in the picture. And this is it now. So this is Hocus Pocus. Now, I had to change some colours around because I didn't have the cord 4 threads, which I don't think is fun. We can do that. So I didn't have the orange that you needed, I don't think. I'm just going to look at the chart while I'm here. Yeah, I didn't have the orange, which was supposed to be terracotta in Weeks Dye Works, but I had tomato, which was, I think it was tomato. Can't remember now. I should have written this down, shouldn't I? Which was actually a, I think it's a Gast. Can't remember. Doesn't matter. But anyway, I just swapped some colours around. That's the easiest thing to say. I did write these down at some point, but I think it's probably over there. Yeah, it'd be over there. I should have grabbed that piece of paper. But that's what it looks like. And it's yeah, still reasonably close to what it should be. So I'm quite pleased with that. I did do DMC in places as well, because as with Lizzie Kate always has, likes to put in the variegated, but sometimes you don't get anything to really see the variegation. But in some of these blocks you would have done if I'd used them. I did use carrot, I think, on the orange block, but yeah. But other than that, I was quite pleased with that. So that was another little finish for June. That was 1,200 88 stitches in June to finish that. So I was quite pleased with that, to get that finished. Because I started that on the 1st of October last year. That was the start. Last year in October, I did a designer showcase, which was something that Cheryl from Tranquil Stitches organised, and I showcased a couple of designers. It was Lizzie Kate, Carol Nielsen, and Satsuma Street Jodie Rice. So what I did when I did that is I made sure I had a start for each one of those designers to show you when I did it. So you can revert back to that video, and I'll put a little thing down the bottom with what video number that was if you're interested to go back and see those. But that was my Lizzie Kate start, and now a Lizzie Kate finished. So the next thing I bought out for my bingo was Cinderella, which was my memorabilia, or is my one of the memorabilias. This was my New Year's start this year. It was also the start that I did for Sane Stitches Fairy Tale Sale. So the idea, obviously, was to pick something you would finish in the 6 months, but I didn't, obviously. But I have always wanted to start this, and I thought, well, Cinderella is the perfect fairy tale, so why not? So where did I get on this? Now, I will put a full picture. Now, this is the hugest piece of fabric, obviously, for a huge, big design. I did, in June, 1,224 stitches, and I did have to jump. Oops, pull that out that way so you can see that. So I did have to do a bit of a jumping around because I had bingo stitches. I think, yeah, all of this was bingo stitching. I also had bingo stitching in here and bingo stitching in here. So that's why I have all these trailing threads. That's a page break, which is why that's trailing. And what else did we do? I think that was it. Yes, so the bingo, that's the stairs, and that's the grassy bit. And then we're coming across to her sleeve in here and her arm. So yeah, she's huge. Will I ever finish it? One day. I would like to. This is stitched on 32 count Opal Lagana Stormbringer from Colour Cascade Fabrics. And as I said, it is a piece of fabric. And the reason why it's actually bigger than I need, but I don't want to cut it until I get to the top, at least. Because I don't want to be in a situation that I have made a boo-boo and then we don't end up with enough fabric. So I'm putting up with the fact that when she's in the Q-snap, it's a pain in the bum to have all these bits of fabric everywhere, but I think at the end of the day it's worth it. I've got a cat hair on my nose. Sorry. Itchy FlossTube itchy nose, but it's cat hair caused. Okay, so as I mentioned, I did 1,224 stitches in June on Cinderella, which for the year I've done 2,094 stitches. So not good, but pretty good. Pretty good. She will possibly come out again, I'm thinking October, maybe, but we'll see. Maybe November. I don't know, but I'll try and I want to do some more on her this year anyway. So then the other one that I pulled out that I wanted to get some significant progress on, and I'm really pleased how much progress I got on this, was Father Frost. So this is a Joan Elliott chart, and this actually came from the magazine. It's not the chart pack, but you can get it in the chart pack. I started this on the 1st of July 2019 and didn't do a lot last year on it, but this year I have managed, I did 2,149 stitches in June on him. And so far this year I have done 3,254 stitches. So I'm really pleased with how the progress on this. And you will see a before pic on this. But essentially, bingo got me some really good progress. So let Let's do a fold, make it a little bit easier. I had to do a little bit of frogging on this one as well, but it wasn't actually as bad as I thought. So I had made a boo-boo in around, where was it? I think it was in around here somewhere, because I'd counted up at some point and I'd stuffed up, but I fixed it up and it wasn't actually as bad as I thought. So we worked on our lovely little friend here and did some more work in the greens with his wreath. Can't remember if I did. I should have looked at the before picture on this one myself. I think that was also part of what I've done. I know I've done a lot of work in here in the building down this, and then I've come up and done all of this, so I've put the teddy bear in and stuff. But I love this. Absolutely love it. So this was supposed to come out in July for Joan Elliott July, and no, unfortunately it didn't. July didn't quite go to plan. But absolutely gorgeous. Love, 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 love. So definitely probably be out in December for Christmas. This is stitched on a 32 count Opal Lagana Silver Springs by Colour Cascade Fabrics. Absolutely adorable. And what I found in June is I got into quite a rhythm with this and just didn't want to put it down. Just kept stitching. And so every time the bingo numbers came up, I was like, yep, I can do that one and this one. So I'm glad I did pick mostly bingo numbers that fell into this one. And I even I was supposed to work on Lavender and Lace. There's a couple of numbers that coincided with the two. No, and I picked this instead. Lavender and Lace didn't see any light of day during June. I also pulled out, so that was basically what bingo was, but I did have one number which I don't know why I picked it. I also, that's right, Dressmaker's Daughter I was going to work on in June with my bingo numbers, but again, mixed and matched them, and they were also in the Cinderella and they were elsewhere. So then I pulled out this one, Orchid Pixie. She was supposed to get a lot more love, and she didn't, unfortunately. The numbers just didn't come up. But that's okay. But she did get some. She got 66 stitches, I think. Is that all I did? Yeah. And you're not even going to probably even be able to see where she was done, because it was just down in here. Not even anything that you can see. But that's where she's at. Poor little girl. So I started her, I really should bring this one out and try and knock this off, because I started her on the 16th of September 2017. Yeah. So maybe she better stay out, and I should do some focus work on her, because after all, she's not that big. It's a thought. What else? That was it. So that was basically June. I don't think I worked on anything else in June. No, I didn't. So that was June. So I finished Hocus Pocus, worked on Cinderella, and between Cinderella and Father Frost, they were my main focuses for June. So yeah, that's right. So yeah. We then go into July. Okay, so Joan Elliott July. Yeah. So my plan in Joan Elliott July was to work on a different Joan Elliott whip each week. Now, there must have been something else that stopped me from doing it, and I can't think what it was. Don't know what it was. Something stopped me from doing it. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It must have been something else. I must have been focusing on something, and yeah. But it's fine. It's all good. So I did pull out, I'm really going to stop saying that, don't I? I did pull out Peacock Lady, and I was working on that, and that was the only one that I had in July. That was a Joan Elliott. But I did manage to get 856 stitches in her, and that's all I've done so far this year. So I really should keep her out as well and try and knock her off at some point. She is so close to a finish, seriously. But I'm down in here. And that's That's just slowed me right up. And that's why she didn't get a lot of work. Can you hear the cat? Bear with. I'm back again. Okay. So, Peacock Lady. So this is where she's at now. So as you can see, there is not a lot to do. I worked on her face and finished her face off. And let me just do some folding here. I think part of the problem with this one, I should have finished this, and I should have really focused on it some more. I got to her face and I finished all of this off and worked all through. There was all, I don't think I'd done, I finished off her hand. So I basically finished all this area off. But that mouth is horrid. I don't even like it. Let's see if she focuses. Sort of. I don't like it at all. It was recharted. There was a correction for it because the original one, oh god, in fact I'll show it to you. The original one, let's see if she focuses. She looks absolutely terrible. Looks like she's got fangs. So they did put in a correction for it. I followed the correction. It's okay, but I still don't like it. It still looks a bit fangy. So it is what it is. Yeah, from a distance you can't notice it. So that was that. I then moved down into the peacock tail, and this is where it's really slowing me down. I'm doing bits and pieces. As you can see, it's lots of circles and then fill in of the circles. So I got to a point where I just had enough. I wasn't getting any significant progress because it's bitty, and I just thought, you know what, she's going away for another day. But I'm still pleased with her. She's looking gorgeous. She is absolutely beautiful, and I'll bring her back out again with, it may be one of those things that I actually bring her out as a daily 30, which means that I can just focus on her maybe for 30 minutes or something a day and get it done that way. That might be the easiest way to finish her. Oh, I've got another cat wanting to come in. I've left the door ajar. Hubby's on a call, so hopefully it'll all be good. What else do I need to say about that? That's it. So that chart comes from the World of Cross Stitching issue 134, and I'm stitching her on 28 count Brittany Opal, or Opal 28 count Opal Brittany, After the Rain from Jodery Designs. It's a beautiful piece of fabric, absolutely gorgeous. So again, I do apologise if you don't like the sews. I should bleep them, but then it would be bleep 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 all the way through. Next one I worked on in July, which is nothing to do with Joan Elliott July, but because I'd bought her out to work on in June and then didn't work on her in June, I kept her out. And she's also a Whip Go project, and I need to get, I think I'd set my goal as something like 10 days or something on her. So I needed to spend some time on her. And I'm talking about my lavender and lace Nantucket Rose. I love this. And she hasn't had the love she should get. So you'll see the before pic, obviously, because we will put in before pics. Even if I forget to tell you that they're going to be there, they'll be there somewhere. This one is stitched on 32 count Belfast, and it's a fabric from Colour Cascade Fabrics, and it's called Whole Lot of Love. So it's very blue with pink splotches through it. And it's, oh no, I just showed you the back. Oh God, just talk about hopeless today. You do get out of practice, don't you, when you don't do these? So this is it. So it's got pink splotches, pinky purpley splotches, but it's really quite pretty. And it's funny because the one thing I'd noticed with doing this and swapping is I go from like a even weave to a Belfast, and then it takes me a bit to get into the groove of working with the linen, and then I go back to the even weave and I just fly through the even weave and I come back to a linen, and it sort of takes a bit to, and it definitely feels different. Definitely feels different. But this is where she's at. So mainly bingo stitching up in here. No, it wasn't bingo stitching. That was supposed to have been bingo stitching. So mainly filled in here and filled down in here. I must have done this for something. What was the semi-sane thing? Don't remember. I must have been doing something for semi-sane because I remember doing Stitchopoly. That's what it was, a Stitchopoly. That's why I was doing fiddly bits. That's what it was. I'm sure it was Stitchopoly. Where's the book? Ah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, it's too long ago to remember now anyway. So, but I did come down in here. Notifications go away. I didn't work on the house, I think. Pretty sure I just did some stuff in here, and I did mainly around in here. But I did get in 795 stitches for July, and that's all I've got so far for the year, which means I need to pull her out again to do some more whip go. I think I need to still do another couple of days on her to get my whip go goal done. I'm pretty sure. I should check that out. I wonder if I can pull that up quickly while I'm talking to you. I'll pull up my whip go board, because I'll put my whip go board in when we talk whip go. But Nantucket Rose. No, she's finished. I had 5 days of stitching for Nantucket Rose, so she's done. So that whip go gold is done. So she probably won't come out again then this year. Yeah, no, she won't. I don't think she will. Actually, I'll leave that up because I'll need that in a minute. Because the next one I had, which I pulled out, is Castles in the Air. So we had, oh, and I forgot to tell you. So I started Nantucket Rose on the 19th of August 2017. I started Castles in the Air on the 20th of August 2017, and neither of them are finished. So Castles in the Air is a long dog sampler. Absolutely, absolutely adore this. Love, love, love. Should get more love than it does. This is my one of my scavenger hunt pieces for the Daily 30 group. And obviously should be doing more work on it, but I'm not. This is the piece of fabric. It is a 32 count Belfast called At Last from Colour Cascade Fabrics, and it does just look beautiful on this. I'm just doing it in plain white. It looks absolutely gorgeous. It's almost, when I take photos of it, it just reminds me like it's almost a velvet. It looks so pretty. So here we are. We did, in the month of July, 777 stitches. So not a lot. I have trailing threads because I'm going over a page. We have, that's the page, is that the page break there? Yes, that's the page break there. And I have extended into page, whatever, 2, 3, next page over on this side. I basically did backstitch. So I filled in all my backstitch. And what else did I work on? I think I've gone up here a bit more. And I've obviously gone across there a bit more. But I've done all my backstitch. Now, my original thought when I decided to do this was my backstitch was going to be in silver. So I got in the silver. And I started doing, oh, I think it was him. It didn't look very good. I couldn't see it. I didn't want to go and do 2 strands because then it was too thick. The single strand just was no good. And it could very well be I just chose the wrong silver. Maybe I should look for more of a darker grey sort of silver or something metallic. And then I thought, do I want to do gold? And I thought, no, gold's just going to be too crass on this. So I've just left it as the white backstitch. So it's going to be all white. I'm not putting any other colour in at this stage. That might change, but at this stage it's all white. But I think it looks gorgeous. It really does. So I did manage to knock off a couple of scavenger hunt tasks, but not a lot. And so I managed on the scavenger hunt to get to the first level. So I've got Buttercup level knocked off, but that's as far as I've got. And it is my own fault because I chose the wrong whips for this. I chose to do Forest Snowfall, Cinderella and Castles in the Air, and none of them really get me going every day. Oh, that's fine. It's okay. It's fine. So moving right along, we had a new start in July. Now, the reason I had a start in July is Sane Stitches. We're now doing, what's it called? Can't remember what the next 6 months is called, but it's basically Halloween-y sort of starts. So I've been wanting to start this one for a long time. So I decided this would be my July start for the Sane Stitches 6 months. Can't think what it's called. I'll put it down the bottom. Midnight Watch by Blackbird Designs. So I have had this, I don't know, a very long time. Don't even know if it says what year it was. No, 2009 it was produced, and I probably bought it a couple of years after that, I would think. So it's been sitting in my stash for a long time. And I decided, you know what? It's no good sitting in the stash. I'll just stitch on it. So I did. Now, I'm not doing it in the fantastic Gast and Crescent Colourworks and Week Style Works. Sorry. COVID is not good for trying to get threads in this country. I'm not even going to bother to try it. I had an order from the US come through from Just Add Needles, which I'll show you in haul. It was sent, I think the 1st of July or something. It arrived in Australia 3 weeks later. It sat somewhere in Perth for 3.5 weeks before I finally got it. I got to the point where I was about to go to the post office and say, can you find out where this is? Because I think you've got it lost. So I don't know whether it sat in customs, in immigration, like the quarantine thing, because it came in on the flight from Hong Kong. So that's a good thing about tracking, you can see where it comes from. And the other one that I've got coming from Just Add Needles, which she sent on the 15th of July, arrived in Australia on the 27th of, August, 15th of August, arrived in Australia on the 27th of August. It's sitting in Perth, so I'm assuming in 3 weeks' time I'll get that too, because that's coming from a flight in Hong Kong. But the stuff that I'm getting from Jodery takes probably about a week longer than normal to get here. And I'm not even going to attempt to order threads from, 123 Stitch or something like that. I'm not even going to bother. And I know there's a couple of places around here that haven't had threads, so if I haven't got it, I haven't got it. Just deal with it. Anyway, enough rambling. Told you, rabbit holes. So this is my Midnight Watch. I have worked on it again this month. So in July I put in 911 stitches, and so far I've added another 120 stitches in September because I'm doing semi-sane domino effect, and the semi-sane domino effect I'm doing the level 2, so I'm increasing on 50 stitches each time. So starting whip 1 is 50, whip 2 is 100, whip 3 is 150, 200, blah blah blah. I thought that would be the best thing because that means I get up to 500 on my last whip. I've mapped out my first 5. I'm about to map out the next 5. So I've got to try and work out which I want the most to work on and can do it. And then I can hopefully increase up 11, 12, whatever. We'll see how we go. So this is where this is at so far. It's still on the Q-snap because I'm planning to work on it again. I started this on the 9th of July and it is stitched on 28 count Opal Lagana Crystal Maya from Picture This Plus. And that's it. So all I've done this month was stitch along here and come up there. So the rest of this was done in July. So quick stitching because it's all block stitching, and because I'm not using the variegated threads, I'm not fussing obviously with how it looks because it's just DMC. I love it. So I use this one because in my link I started off, which you'll see soon, I started off with one with a cat. This had a cat. Then the next one I used the cat link again, but I said cat and dog. And then I've used the dog link, and then I'm using the designer to get to the next one. And then that's a Christmas one, which I'll then decide next what's going to be the link, whether it's another designer link or a Christmas link or what. So that's for the weekend to work out. I also pulled out Halloween Koala. So Halloween Koala was another one that I started in October. Actually started on my birthday last year. I started it because of that designer showcase that I was doing. So it's the Carol Nielsen one. She's the Aussie designer. I call it Halloween Koala. It's just called Stitching for Halloween, but I called it Halloween Koala. He's really cute. He's really cute. So I hadn't actually done a lot on it because I did the start and basically, that was it. So I pulled him out in July, stitched on him and did 1,396 stitches in July on him, and then kept him out And in August, I completed another 889 stitches for a finish. So in total this year, I've done 2,285 stitches in him to finish him. So he's done, complete, finished. Finito. Isn't he gorgeous? He's so cute. He's just so cute. So there's very minimal backstitch in this. And he is just so cute. I just adore him. Now, I've said before that I always, not always, but sometimes I remember what I was watching when I was stitching on it. This one, I was watching the show called Trackers, which is a South African police drama, I suppose. It's really good. I heard somebody was talking about it on the radio the other day, and we'd seen it advertised on, must have been on Netflix. I don't think it was FlossTube, I think it was Netflix. And so we had seen it advertised, and we thought, well, we'll watch it. Really good. So I pretty much stitched this in August while I was watching that show. So I quite remember. I recommend it. If you see it, watch it. It is good. So this was started on the 5th of October last year and finished on the 15th of August 2020. It is stitched on 28 count Lugana Zephyrus from Under the Sea Fabrics, and it's all DMC as per the chart. Another one done and dusted. Then, now that wasn't a whip go or anything like that. It was just another one. But I did have a whip go finish in August. And we're sort of moving into August now. So that was pretty much July. The other one I bought out in July was Beach Cottage Sampler. But I only did 295 stitches on that in July. And I kept it out and worked on it in August. And I put in another 1,495 stitches. So this is Beach Cottage Sampler by Country Cottage Needleworks. I use this for a number of prompts in my different groups to get this done. I decided it was going to be an August finish. Now, come hell or high water, I'm finishing it in August. The animals are all starting to move. You'll probably hear a dog bark any second now. So we had to have a whip go finish. I needed a whip go finish because I hadn't had one since, I think, Goat Load. I think Goat Load was my last whip go finish. Was Goat Load my last whip go finish? Yeah, I think it was. No, Hocus Pocus was. Notifications, go away. Yes, no, Hocus Pocus was my last finish goal because I had some finishes. So this one had to stay out. I just had to get this one finished. And I just got into a point where I started stitching on this and really enjoyed doing it. And yeah, you start seeing the results. So I kept on going. And it's done. All finished. So as you'll see in the before pic, I had, I sort of had to finish the tree. So the house was done. I still had a bit more, I think, grass. Yeah, I finished some more grass off. Finished off the flowers in here. Had to do that. I didn't really enjoy this sort of grassy looking stuff, but I managed to, I just did it, and this, yeah, it's done. Then I finished off the waves and then came down and finished all the words. And it was done. Easy peasy. That was a total of 2,662 stitches in 2020 to finish her. This is stitched on 32 count Opal Belfast Dawn Light from Stitches and Spice, which, as I mentioned before, can't get any more. But her fabric, as I said, is just, oh, it's just beautiful. Loved her fabrics. I don't have much left now. I've got that little bit left of this, which I'll cut off and keep. But yeah, her fabric colours were just beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. So that one was finish number 17 for the year. So I've managed to finish 17 pieces this year so far. Would be nice to get at least 20 finished for the year. So we'll see how we go. And I think that was my last, yes, that was the last finish. I finished that one on the 26th of August. So all done. And that was stitched in, oh, that's right. So this is stitched in all the recommended threads, but I stuffed up. So this here should have been the tree, and the tree should have been that. But never mind. I actually didn't mind it. I'm actually quite pleased in a way that this tree is more solid and the grass has the variegated effect. I think it actually looks better. And I'm going to say that because I stuffed up. So, but if I hadn't told you I'd stuffed up, you wouldn't know, would you? Cool. The next one. So what am I bringing out next? Okay, so now we're into more what we did in August. In August, I focused on... What have I done? No, that's right. In August, I just spent quite a bit of time focusing on, obviously, Beach Cottage. I also focused on Little Sheep Virtues. And then I bought out a really old whip. And I mean, it was so old, it wasn't actually on my active whip list, so I've had to put it on, which is fine. So the first one I focused on, now I haven't got all the little charts in there, but it doesn't matter. In one of Dina half stitch cross stitch videos back I think in July, she mentioned she was going to work on her Little Sheep Virtues, and she had, because she's done it before, she did the big like an Afghan quilt, and then she's doing the Little Sheep Virtues as the montage with CCN's Sheep in the Meadow in the middle. So I started that particular montage back in January. In fact, it was my New Year's start for January 2018. And I'd finished block Hope, Love and Peace in 2018 and had started the fourth block, Courage. And that's it. I basically had put it away and forgot about it. And so we brought it out again for August, and I focused on it pretty much through August and did a total of 1,987 stitches, and this is where it's at now. Can you see? Yes, you can. Okay, so as I mentioned, I had done those three notifications, go away, those three previously. I should have ironed this. I've literally just taken this off the queues now. Courage I had started in August 2018, and I'll put a before pic of where August was when I started it for this month. But I finished August, or Courage, finished that one. I then went on to Faith, and I finished that one. And now I've moved on to Peace. Is it Peace? Yeah, Patience, sorry, Patience. And I've started Patience. So Patience I worked on, did I work on it the other day? No, I haven't worked on it yet in September. It hasn't formed part of my plans yet for September, but I think I would like to keep this out and work on it a bit more. So my thinking is that I will finish Patience, which is there. Let's fold this up a bit. So Patience is, so I'm doing 4, 1 on each side and then 4 at the bottom. So I'll work on Patience and get that block finished, because that's at that far end. Then I will go down, come back to the beginning, and I'll do that block down there, and then I'll go back across, and then I can, once they're all done, I will fit in the rest, was it the Sheep in the Meadow, and put that in. But that's, you've got to fiddle with the wording on that to fit it in, so that's why I thought I will leave that to the end. So cute. So cute. So this is stitched on a 32 Belfast, and now it was a September 2017 mystery fabric from Colour Cascade Fabrics, and I think she did call it something like A Whole Lot of Love eventually. It's very similar to, well, actually I shouldn't say it's very similar, it's nothing like it actually. No, it's not A Whole Lot of Love. I can't remember what she I think she did name it, but I don't know what she called it in the end. But it's quite pretty. And we're going to start getting visitors because the dogs and the cats are all moving, which probably means I need to hurry up and finish. You all right, Moo? Good girl. Okay, so I then, after working on that one in pretty much August, I also bought out towards the end of August a really old whip, and it needed, the reason I bought this out is I was doing a semi-sane deep blue, the monthly sale, And I needed, no, it wasn't, I used it for it was a monthly one, but it wasn't the deep blue one, it was the summer sale. So each week you worked on a different thing. You could work on it over the month, but you had a different weekly prompt. And I needed something that was tropical, so palm trees, coconuts, whatever. I had nothing. And then I remembered I had a really old whip that I put away, like, I don't know how long ago, because it annoyed the poop out of me. So this came from, I've got cat hair or something again. This came from the Cross Stitcher magazine, July 2008, issue 201, I think. It is a Margaret Sherry, and it was the free gift. So I'll tell you why it annoys me. Here. As you can see in this, it's all cross stitch, right? 2 strands, cross stitch. I remember stitching this, and in the instructions, it tells you to do cross stitch and 2 strands for all of the cat. But then it talks about half stitches in 1 strand for the top of this, so that's fine. But it tells you to do half cross stitch in 2 strands for all of this. So of course I'm reading the instructions and going by the instructions and stitching away. And I don't know what made me look at it at some point. I must have just been thinking, this doesn't look right. Looked at the picture and it's nothing like it, because all of this is in full cross, 2 strand full cross. But I had gone too far to do anything about it. So I had actually, as you'll see in the before pic, I had actually done, I've done more now, obviously, because I'm going and doing my back stitching, and I've done this side. So I had gone up and done all of this in the half cross, and I'm like, oh, I'm not pulling all of that out. So I put it away. So I started this sometime in 2010. I know that because I looked at my blog and I have got it mentioned. But I don't say when I started it, because I'd mentioned I'd bought it out again to stitch on it. So I don't know when I started it. It was before I recorded when I was starting on things. So it doesn't look too bad. If you look at it from a distance, it doesn't look too bad now that I've started back stitching and stuff. But I'm determined I will finish this now, because I've pulled it out and I've used it for my domino effect for my first 50 stitches, which started everything off. The back stitching starting to bring the cat out, and obviously this, when I do the snail, he'll stand out, and it's sort of bringing it out. From a distance it's okay, but I really don't like it. But it is what it is. I will keep doing it. So it was a free gift, so it didn't cost me anything, but other than purchasing the magazine. It's all, I assume, Anchor or DMC, whatever the threads are in the pack. And I'm sorry you can hear the dog snoring. It's on a 14 count Ada, so a light blue Ada. But it will get finished, and I'm going to try and finish it this month. It's actually my daily 30 piece for the daily 30 prompts, and I think, I don't think I've used it for any other prompts other than the semi-sane stitcher domino effect. So yeah, and the semi-sane one last month. So I managed to put in another 238 stitches in August in that, and that's double that really, because they're half stitches and back stitch, and I've put in another 55 in September so far, but that was only the one day. So that will be finished next time I show you. It's starting to get chilly in here. What else? So far in September, I have stitched on that one. I stitched on, so I went from, this is my domino effect. So we stitched on the Totally Tropical and Midnight Watch the first day, because I had to do 50 and 100. I then moved on to another Old Faithful, Forever Friends. And so my link was cat, dog to be actual, but cat. And then my next link is I'm using the dog, which you'll see in a minute, to go to my next project. And then, as I will tell you in a minute, I'm using the designer to go to my next project. So this is Forever Friends. Now it is a Laurel Birch design for Mill Hill, and it's stitched on this horrible linen. absolutely disgusting linen, and it's as see-through as you can get, so I will put that behind it so it's not so bad. And there you go. It's still a bit hard to see. So I've added in 176 stitches for September and a total of 1,740 stitches so far this year. So I'll show you the before pic for where it was when I started it the other day. But basically I've just worked in this area here and yeah, put that bit in here. So I've just filled in some blue and put that in there. So 176 stitches. The reason it's 176 stitches is for Myth and Stitch Wars this for September and October. They're doing on tour. So the clans are going on tour around the map, and the villagers are stitching minimum, well, 175 stitches for a sparkly pebble, which the clans need. So that's why it's 176 stitches, because I kept going until I got my clan pebble. So I did my 154, my dominoes, took the picture, and then just did extras to get that. So that will probably go away now because I really don't like stitching on that. It's cute, but it's the linen, and unfortunately I've got a couple of others like that. So I may, if I ever stitch on them, change it out to a different type of linen. I'm now up to my very last whip so far. So we're up to what we did yesterday. So last night I pulled out Teeny Weeny from Plum Street Samplers. This was my Stitch Mania start this year, and as basically I just did that, as you'll see from the before pic. That was, I did that in one night, and I thought yesterday, ooh, I did 230 something stitches in one night on that. So I'm going to pull this out and I can get my 200 stitches for semi-sane, which I did. So last night I managed to do all of my teeny. So this is it. This is now, I'll just put it in the back there. This is 213 stitches last night, which I was really pleased about. It's like, wow, 213 stitches. Whoa. But of course it's all lettering, so that's really quick. I am missing a couple of the threads for this, so I'm not sure how much further I will get, unless I can find some threads to sort of put in place. But I'm pretty much done, I think, but we'll see what happens. I might be able to keep this out a bit longer. It's stitched on 36 count Edinburgh, a truffle from Pitch This Plus, so I'm doing one thread over two, given it's 36. But it's so pretty, so pretty. So that's basically it, that's hidden. And that's it. And I am trying to basically do it as charted. But it is very pretty. So I think I can do a bit more on there. And I think I'm missing some of the threads for the dogs. So my link with the semi-sane domino effect was Forever Friends has a dog, their dogs. And then I'm using Plum Street Samplers as my link because I want to bring out Pomegranate Santa. I'll then do 250 stitches on Pomegranate Santa. I need to do him, well, today, tomorrow sort of thing. I will then, I'm actually using this for Magical Stitch. I love this. So Magical Stitch is the monthly one. They're doing Kingdom Keepers. I'm not reading the book, so I have no idea on the stories for these. But one of the tasks was, there was 3 villains, so Cruella and I can't remember who the other 2 are. And you had to pick a whip that you could use to capture the villain. So I'm using this. That's why I've got to keep this out and do another couple of stitches. Got to get 300 in this one. I said I would put the dogs in this in black and white coats. So Cruella will come and visit them and want them. And when she comes to the dogs, there's a secret trigger in the fire hydrant. The fire hydrant will start splashing her with water, and while she's getting hit with the water from the fire hydrant, it can capture her. I thought that was pretty good. Sometimes the brain works. So yeah, so that's where we're at. So that will stay out because I need to finish that prompt to get, or was it 200 stitches? No, I think it's 300 stitches on that prompt. So we'll see how we go. So with that in mind, that brings you right up to date with my whips, my finishes and my starts so far for this year. I was looking at my stats, and in May I did 6,720 stitches. June I did 5,050. July I did 5,030, and in August 4,609. That not good. So my best month actually was in April, because I did 7,080, and I still do not know how I did that. I have no idea. I got a funny feeling that was because, what did I do? I have no idea. I don't know, I'm just looking at it. I just focused mainly on 4 big, I just mainly focused on 4 whips. So it is interesting that if I focus, I can get the numbers up. But even so, it still doesn't quite work out, tally up. But for the year so far, I have done 45,170, because I've added another 564 so far for September. So I need to try and really push it now and get September back up a bit, because I'm not really happy with the August number. I want to get at least a minimum 5,000 stitches a month. That's the minimum. But we'll see how we go. Can't do much about it. I can only assume, I don't know. I think when I look at it is May, June and July. See, April, I wasn't doing the document control work. May, June, July, August, I've been doing document control work, and I'm working longer essentially, because I have to do my normal job as well as this extra stuff. So sometimes I'm still working 6 o'clock at night, 6:30 at night. And then what I was doing in April is I would be finishing at my normal time and using that extra couple of hours stitching in the afternoon, which would be my commute time. And that's probably why, maybe, at a guess. I don't know. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause. I'm going to not so much tidy that up, but bring over the haul that's hiding there. It's not a lot, but there's a little bit. So I'll go and get that. I'll tidy up. I'll just get myself a bit tidied up a bit, and we'll see how we go from there. I may, if something's come up in my email and I've got to get back into work, I will basically, I've been watching it and everything seems to be okay at the moment. But if something does come up, I might not get to finish this today and I might have to come back. But you never know. We'll see how we go. I'll talk to you in a minute. Okay, I'm back. So while I was away, I thought we'd revisit Hocus Pocus, because I've got the threads that I did. Because it was actually a mix of things. So here we go. So this was Hocus Pocus, okay? I used DMC 444 for the yellow. Okay. This is probably the best way to do it. I used a colour and cotton. It just said a gift for you. I got this in last year, I think, when I was doing the Picture This Plus Fabric of the Month from Crazy Annie, and this was the subscriber gift. So I use that just in here for the white. That's the only bit. Oh, and there. So that was that one. I also use 731 DMC for the green. Purple, I use 210, the little light purple, so that's fine. 939 for the dark blue. That was it. I used the tomato, as I thought, for the orange. The tomato I actually used in my Boo Club, which is why I knew I had a little bit left. And that's literally all I've got left now, so that is that one. The dark purple, I used Purple Majesty from Weeks Dye Works for the dark purple. And Carrot, which was the actual call for, and that was pretty much the only call for. Everything else I changed out where I could, so yeah. So I thought I'd just fill that in. I was going to put like a little thing down the bottom, and I thought, no, I'll just do a quick snippet while I've got it in my hand, because I'm just tidying up, as you will see. Look, tidy up. So that's what those were. Cool. Now, let's get on to the tiny bit of haul I've got. I pretty much have been very good lately. Besides buying the odd mirror here and there, I haven't bought anything for the last couple of months. I've done my fabric of the month, but then there's a couple of those that have sort of slowed down with the dyers not being able to get fabric. Like Hammy hasn't been able to get fabric, so she hasn't done it for a couple of months, but she's actually like 6 months behind. So I'm expecting a big parcel at some point. Jodery Designs has been doing them, so that I've been getting, and Leslie from Under the Sea Fabrics did stop a couple, but that's back on again. I got an invoice from her the other day. So we will show what I have got. So these two are Joderies. So this is a Jodery June one, and it's called Dead Sea Salt Flats. Dead Sea Salt Flats. Very interesting. Cute. Nice. I'm not sure what do you stick on that. It's quite nice actually. Got some nice colours in it. So that one is a 28 count opal Brittany, and we had the threads that came with it, which is the right one. Yeah, this would have been the threads that came with it. So that will be, no doubt, the limited edition one. I've actually just sent her a note. She has mentioned that postage has gone up. What else? Everything else is going up too. So postage from the UK coming to Australia has gone up. So she's offered now for us to get our share of postage over 2 months essentially. So I've done that, and I've actually just asked her to cancel now my threads because I have so many of them. I'm starting to double up now, and I'm just going to get 2 of the limited edition threads as she does them. So yeah, so this was the July thread pack, and this is the July fabric, and this one's called Great Barrier Reef. I could use that for Halloween or something because there's a bit of purple in there. So that's the 2 fabrics so far. I think I filed the other ones and put them away because I know I had, that's June and July, so you would have not seen May and June, so I've obviously put them away. In fact, I think they're right there, but I'm not going to get up and get them. Okay, so the next fabric I've got is some Under the Sea fabrics. So the first one we have is Stoned Wash. Now this one, I'm not sure why I did a Joblin, but I must have done a Joblin for a reason. So this is 28 count Joblin, and it's no good showing that because it just washes out. So it's basically stain washed. It's a pretty pale bluey colour. So let's see if we can do it. Yeah, stain wash. And then so Leslie shows her fabrics on the Facebook group. Generally, I don't worry about changing my order, but I did change my order on this one. So this one was Malicious, and it is, my normal one I get is 28 count Opal Lagana from Leslie. That's why I'm not sure why I got a Joblin. I must have changed it for some reason, or she didn't have it. So this is a very nice neutral. So when I saw this on her Facebook group, I asked her if I could actually have some Edinburgh 36 count on it, because you can't really see it. It's very pretty. It's very similar to Gold Digger that Tammy does, which is probably why I was drawn to it. So I got her to send me an 18 by 26 36 count Edinburgh. One can never have enough neutral at 36 count, especially with all of the with our needle and threads that I want to start, and I need some 36 count. I have some picture of this plus 36 count, but some of them are a bit bright, and I didn't want to do the Brenda Gervais on those. Oh, it's a bit of fluff. But this is nice. This is really nice. If this becomes a regular line, I think I will ask her to do some more on this. I really do like this. So that's what I've got from Leslie so far. And hopefully I'll get some more soon. Then, so as I said, I haven't bought, well I have, I have bought some mirrors, but I haven't bought a lot recently. I have, but I haven't. I know there's a contradiction in terms. But I did buy Princess Eliana And I got this one the other day. Love this when this came out. Really, really, I just am drawn to the colours in this. Just absolutely gorgeous. Now, everyone went ape, as I'm sure people have seen through the Facebook groups and stuff. And people have started it and all that. I'm not yet. I was actually looking at the fabrics, and the fabric I'm doing my little sheep virtues would probably be perfect for this, but I've probably got some more of similar purpley stuff, but I don't know if I've got anything that's big enough, so we'll see. But we don't need to start it just yet anyway. Or do we? Who knows? So anyway, that's it. And I did get all the beads at the same time, so I've got the beads anyway. I also got Miss Dancing Flower. So that came the other day. So they're the latest couple of mirrors that I've bought. Then Just Add Needles did a sale a little while. Now, this is the pack that I mentioned previously. Arrived reasonably okay in time from the US. Took about 3 weeks, I think. Then sat for another 3 weeks in quarantine. I'm assuming quarantine, because it came from Hong Kong on the plane. And sat in Perth. And I was terrified it had got lost, because when you see what was in the package, you'll know why I was a bit worried. They were all mirrors, and a lot of them are OOPs. So this is Caring Wings, which went OOP just recently, and I had this sitting in my 123 cart for so long and never pulled the trigger on it. You know what it's like. You think, oh yeah, I'll get it, but I won't get it this time. I'll get it on the next order. I haven't done a 123 stitch order in must be at least 12 months. And then it went OOP, and I went, oh, I better go and get that. And of course, there was none in 123 stitch. So I've been looking everywhere I looked, didn't have it. And then I noticed that Marie had it, so I grabbed that in the sale. And she was doing, I think, buy 5, get the 6 free, or buy 4 and get the, must have been 1, 2, 3, must have been buy 4 and get the 5th free. That must have been what it was, because this one was basically my free one. So I got that one. I also got this old one, Christmas Wishes, which is another one that I've been wanting to grab, but just hadn't sort of got around to doing. I absolutely loved it. It's just so simple. It really is just a really simple design. So this will be a start sooner or later, same as Caring Wings. I got Gathering Eggs, which is another one that I've been planning on getting for ages, and thought, well, you know what, let's get it now before I can't get it. And I bought Guardian Angel. Again, another really gorgeous one. It's been sitting on the list of you should buy at some point. Never got around to doing it, so now I've done it. And Tree of Hope. So a couple of friends started this earlier this year, and I had planned to start it with them, but I didn't have the chart, and I just never got around to getting it. So when I saw that Marie had this one, I thought, well, I'll get it because I might as well start it. I'm not sure now when I will start this. I don't think I will start it this year. And I'm not starting it next year, as I'll tell you in a minute why. I may start it later on in the year. We'll see what happens. So that was my order from Marie. And hopefully my other couple that are coming, well, I think this has got one chart, I think, which had another, which had the rest of the extended the sale, and I got another chart. It was like an auction, and I got another one, but that's coming. So Journey of a Stitcher in, I think she's in Melbourne or Sydney, can't remember, somewhere on the East Coast. So every now and then I pop onto her Etsy store and see what she's got hanging around. And she had this one. This is just a good old-fashioned Santa. So I thought, you know what? He can go in the collection as well. But this is the main thing that I wanted. Been wanting these for a very, very long time. I knew they were OOP. Didn't bother to even look for them. But they've been reprinted. Loose feathers. So, I never know why they've only done the 3. It's very strange, but that's okay. So, we've got winter. And then we've got autumn. And summer. So, at some point, I will stitch these. Because that's 1, 2, 3. They're in the wrong order, but that's okay. So, at some point, I will stitch the 3 of them. And I'm going to stitch them together as they are shown here. So that is how I'm going to actually stitch them. I just think they're so pretty. They're just so, so pretty. But of course, in these charts there are, or in these booklets, there are the other couple of other charts as well. And that's what's in this. On the back of that one and that one. Don't particularly like him very much, but I'm sure he looks cute, but not really my aesthetic. But very nice. So that was it. That was all of what I've bought and paid for. What about this one? Pandemic. So I'm sure nobody has missed the crazy time when Jules put this out for free and we all went absolutely berserk and grabbed it. And I am no exception to the rule. I grabbed it for nothing. I thought that was a very generous offer, and how could I not grab it when she was being so generous to give it to us before? I would have been more than willing to pay for it, but yeah, I've got it for free. So I have spent some time mulling over colours. I went on to Stitch Palette and I think I've got some ideas. If I've got the things that I saved, I might pop them in the corner for colour ideas. But I can't work out whether I want to do it in one colour. I've seen some people that have done it in a lot of colours, which it's too garish. To me, it looks a bit too over the top. But I'm sure it's going to be gorgeous when it's finished. I like the simplicity of either doing a long dog in one colour or one or two colours. I just think, or even a variegated, if you can get a nice variegated thread. That's just personally, I just like the simplicity of long dogs. So I will see what I do. My thinking is I'm actually going to use 3 or 4 colours on this one, having said I like the simplicity of one colour. But that may change, because if I can get the right fabric, I won't need to do colours. I'll just do it in probably one coloured thread. Whether I do it in black, red, I won't do it in red. That's why I haven't touched Songs of the Season for so long, because I'm really not enjoying doing the red. But that's okay. But yes, pandemic. I don't know whether I'll start that this year. I'm in two minds as to whether to start it for before the end of the year. I don't know. I may get a whim. It is huge, and I don't actually think I've got a big enough piece of fabric without doing it sort of like over 1 on 28 or 32. And I don't know if I could cope with that. But we'll see. So yeah. I do have one last little thing. So Kerry and Stitches had a giveaway a little while ago, and I want this cute little kit. Isn't it so cute? So cute. So thank you, Kerry. It's gorgeous. Arrived safe and sound the other day. Took a while, but it got here. Plans. Okay. Plans. I don't know. I have no idea. Because every time I say I'm going to plan something, it never happens. But I have a major plan. There is some noise happening, and there is a group that has been set up for No New Starts 2021. I've joined the group, and I'm pretty certain I'm not going to do any new starts next year. I have so many whips that I would really, really, really like to get done. But the biggest thing is, I know whenever I've done this before, and choose whips, like Whip Go and Whipocalypse, to focus on, I don't do them. If something happens. But with No New Starts, I'm sort of thinking, if I just sort of picked a list of 50 whips and added that to the pile, then I've got a lot more stuff to work on. It's the No New Starts bit that's sort of, I don't know if I want to do it, because, and yeah, it doesn't mean I can't do a new start. It just means I can't get and I'm not, they are charging, I think it's $5 US if you want to go in the raffle draw for the big prize money. And I'm sort of not sure whether I would do that, because the risk of me actually starting something is like, so yeah, I probably won't pay to join it. I think I will just join it for the fun of it and try and see how long I can go before I have to have a new start, because I would like to actually have a new start for my birthday, and I always like a new year, new start. I can't. So yeah, I don't know. But I do need to focus on whips next year. I do need to knock off a lot of stuff that's sitting in the corner there, and I would like to knock out a mirror or something like that next year, but we'll see. So that's the main big thing I'm thinking of. I am doing, as I mentioned, the domino effect for September for semi-same stitches, so that's fine. So I'll keep going with that and pull out another 5 whips for that, and then pretty much my thinking is I'll go back to the start then and work on them until, who knows, might get a finish, but we'll see how far I get. But I'm definitely focusing on 10 whips at the moment for this month. October, Halloween. So I will probably spend October knocking off either something with pumpkin-y. I know it's not autumn here, but I've got some pumpkin-y things like pumpkins for sale I'd like to finish, so I might try and knock that off and focus on maybe a couple of Halloween things that I've got hiding in there that probably should get knocked off. November, I'm thinking if I am going to do the 2020 new start, obviously back in October I'll need a birthday start, so that'll be, not sure yet what it's going to be. I've got an idea, but not sure. So November, I'm thinking if I really do want to do this no new starts, I better have a look and see what's in my kitted up that I potentially will want to work on next year and start it. In for a penny, in for a pound. I've got 20 something starts already for them this year, so I might as well just knock them on the head and have some more. And then December will be pretty much Christmas stitching. Try and pull out some of the stuff that I've got sitting in there for Christmas. And I think that's pretty much it. As I said, I don't really like making plans. I do, but I don't like doing it sometimes because it seems to be every time I want to make a plan, I tend to, it's like, oh no, I don't want to do that now. So we'll see how we go. Pussycat coming in. I think that's it. There was something else I was going to mention. Oh, there's a new kid on the block. There's a new group that's started up similar to Myth, Stitch and Wars and Dragon Lore. I don't know what's happened in Dragon Lore. Something's happened. And some people who were in Dragon Lore have gone and started up their new one called Crystal Academy, I think it is. So I've joined that, but I don't know what's happened to Dragon Lore because something just sort of happened. I never see the drama. I miss the drama, which is probably good because I don't want to get involved. So yeah, so there's that new group that I've joined. So I don't know what that will be like. I'll see how that one goes. But other than that, I'm just focusing on the Ultimate Cross Stitch group. We're doing a team challenge again, which is awesome. I always feel bad though because 200 stitches from me compared to 1,000 from some of the other girls. I always feel like you're letting the side down a bit. That's pretty much it. So it's Sane and Ultimate Cross Stitch group, Magical Stitches, of course, Mythical Stitching and Enchanted Stitching, still doing all of that. Whip Go. So Whip Go. Okay, so Whip Go. I'll put my Whip Go thing in. I'm about to have a cat come to visit. So Whip Go, as you will see, I have not touched Forest Snowfall. It hasn't been called yet, so that's fine. Cinderella, I've knocked off a couple more. That was called again this month, so I really need to get another 10 days into Cinderella. Eiffel Quaker I haven't touched. I'm supposed to finish that this year, so I might have to pull that one out. Sorry, we're going to have a bit of earthquaking because we've decided we're going to have a cat visit. Oh, look, hello. Good boy. So Midnight Watch was one of the new starts that I said I would do 5-day stitching on, so that's good. Teeny Weeny is going to be probably my next new start that I had this year that's going to have 5-day stitching on because we're getting close to that. I've still got to work on Cats, Bats and Witches, haven't touched that. Coffee Saves Lives, haven't touched that. Nantucket Rose, I completed my 5-day goal on that. Goat Load, I've finished it, so that goal's completed. Hollywood Art's completed, that was a goal for a finish. Castles in the Air, I've only done 8 days out of the 15 days, so that's going to have to come out again at some point this year to get that one. Cinderella. Hocus Pocus was a goal finish, and I've done that. Beach Cottage Sampler was a goal to finish, so I've done that. Christmas Carols, goal to finish, so I'm going to bring that out potentially as one of my whips this month because there's not a lot left on that to finish. Have You Any Wool was a gold finish. Cinderella. 12 Days of Christmas I'm bringing out in December, and I only need to do 4 more days on that to get a gold finish on that, so that'll be fine. Royal Holiday. I have a big chunk I have to frog because I tried to fix to fudge and I've made it worse. So I have to frog before, and I've got 10 days for that. So I'm thinking I'll bring that out in December because it's Christmas. And then I have to work out which other one of my new starts from earlier in the year to do my 5 days catch up on those. So yeah, so Birthdays not doing too bad. I'm very close to having a line or 2 lines, but that's about it. So yeah, and I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else I need to talk about. I will splice all this together. This could end up being about an hour, so we'll see how we go. I may end up splitting it into 2. We'll just see what happens. But that is it for now. I will be back hopefully in less time than 3 months. I'll try and get back. No, we won't make plans because we know what happens when we make plans. I'll be back when I'm back. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I hope you enjoyed my run through from the last 3 months. And if you've got any questions about anything, just drop me a line and I promise I will answer it eventually. Yeah, I think that's it. So stay safe, look after yourself, remember to wash your hands, wear your mask if you need to wear a mask, but basically stay safe and take care and happy stitching, and I'll talk to you next time. See you later. Bye bye.